Okay, Megan, so what are you here at the conference for?
So I am here for two reasons. First off, I am promoting our business. It's called Dyslexia on Demand. We offer one-on-one individualized dyslexia therapy, only using certified academic language therapists over Zoom for accessibility. But additionally, we have a podcast called Don't Call on Me. And you can imagine that it is a dyslexia-related podcast with that name. But we interview people with dyslexia so that we can really help to show the common emotional threads that occur with everyone in that situation. So we interview children, we interview adults, we interview parent child combos, and it's really been a powerful experience. I am a CALT. I have been a veteran. I'm a veteran CALT, but I do not personally have dyslexia. It has been the most incredible professional development that I have ever done.
Amazing.
Wonderful. So tell me a little bit about how that Zoom Dyslexia on Demand works, because I was there during COVID trying to teach the kids, and I had such a hard time with the Zoom aspect of it. So how does that work?
So the whole reason, I'm going to go back to why it started, and actually, believe it or not, we were doing it prior to COVID.
Oh, okay.
So we're one of the businesses that actually really benefited from COVID. But the reason it started was because of accessibility. It is very challenging in lots of areas of the world and United States, obviously, to find high quality dyslexia professionals to do that intervention. And even in states like Texas, I live rurally, and it's very impractical to think that parents are going to drive, an hour each day, wait an hour, drive home an hour 4 times a week, and so kids just aren't getting that intervention. So that is where the concept started. I remember back when I was in graduate school in 2000, I was doing distance learning. Why can't we do that? So I worked really hard on how can we basically replicate the experience where it feels like that student is sitting across from me in my office. So using different pieces of technology, we have an interactive whiteboard
cool.
that, of course, the Scottish Rite put out that we use. We use document cameras. The child has it. The therapist has it. They also use basically like a little mini tablet where we can write cursive on. They can write cursive on the screen. So we can see every element of what they're doing. And then, of course, most important, students do have their own tactile materials because nothing replicates that experience.
Right.
So they are there live doing everything, but visually on the screen, they can see what they need to have in front of them. Of course, the therapist has a document camera. They have a document camera.
Cool.
We can see pencil grip. We can see everything that's needed to coach them through. So we've been doing this now. We're coming up on our 5th anniversary. So if you do the math, guys, obviously, 5 years would be around when COVID happened.
You were ahead.
It was me who was doing it before I started hiring on other therapists, other CALTs to do this work. But I had all those pieces in place. So,
Awesome.
but at this point, since we've been in business, we have serviced around 600 children. We also do at-cost dyslexia testing, diagnosis testing, just for accessibility. You don't have to use us. So we've touched a lot of lives. We are very data-driven. So we are seeing informal testing from baseline to exit that our results are very similar to research rates, if not the same, sometimes higher.
What's the furthest student out for your therapist?
What?
Distance-wise?
Yeah,
distance-wise.
Yeah.
So we currently service kids in, I think, over 30 states and in 5 different countries.
Oh,
wow.
Very far. The UAE would probably be the furthest.
Wowee.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I know here in the United States, there are states, like you were mentioning, that don't have the therapy like we do here in Texas. We're really saturated here in Texas. I know Utah is one where a lot of parents are reaching out and they want help.
Right.
And they just don't have that there. So this is a wonderful resource. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you guys for doing this to help spread education of dyslexia. I think we all need to touch that more.
Yes.
Thank Thanks a bunch. We are really excited as to how our podcast is different than yours in the sense of you guys are doing education.
Yeah.
We're doing a different kind of education. We're really just trying to show the common threads so that there's more awareness of the experience and hoping that lots of teachers listen to this too to understand what their kids are up against when they're not familiar with dyslexia.
That's great.
Right.
Thank you so much for doing this with us today.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Amy,
And Melissa.
and we're the
Dyslexia
Dyslexia
Duo.
Duo. Bye.